Anybody up for a little dodging and burning? I am. Open up in your work folder item number 421 underscore 3015493.jpg from our friends at Photospin. They actually have a lot of photos of elephants. I like this image. However, I think it's a little bit too light up here and a little bit too dark down in this area right here. Now, understand something about the human eye. You would not have seen that when this photograph was taken. Why? Because your eye compensates. It's got an iris. As you look at one thing or look at another, your eye changes to take in that information. In a photograph, that's not going to happen. What you get is what you get. Now, as long as there is something down here, we can lighten it up. But understand, if it were blown out to white or black, that would not be an option. We'd have to go back and take the photograph again. One other thing, make sure your monitor is nice and calibrated, because what you see on it here may be different than what happens when you print it. And it's not a bad idea, if this is something very important, do a couple of test prints to see how it looks before you go in and change it, if you've got the time to do that. Let's come over here. Background is where our elephant is. Reach over on your keyboard and hold down the Control key. That's the Control key in Windows, and the Command key if you're on a Mac, and press the letter J, which gives you a copy. Dodging, burning, and sponging are destructive, and I want a copy just in case I change my mind, or just in case I want to see a before and an after. We will be working on this one right here. So let's double click on that and call it Dodge Burn. Come over here and pick up your dodge. Let's start with lightning. Now, the area I want to lighten up is dark, so I'm going into shadows. Exposure, I'm going to run that down to about 20. I do want to protect the tones, and I'm using a drawing tablet, so I'm going to leave these options on too. And I'm going to come over here. Now, I need a bigger brush. I could do that by coming over here, clicking, and using the size right here. But I don't want to. The shortcut I love, and that's just simply the two bracket keys, and that's in Mac or Windows, it doesn't matter. The right bracket key makes it bigger, and the left bracket key makes it smaller. So I want something maybe about like that with one more thing. I want the edges to be softer. So if I come up here, I can change the hardness of the brush, but I don't want to do it there. One more trick. Left and right bracket keys allow you to increase or decrease the size of the brush. If you hold the Shift key down, when you use the left and right bracket keys, it changes the softness of the edge of the brush. And I'm going to press the Shift key and press the left bracket key and make it a little bit softer. Now, it's hard to see there, obviously, because that's just a circle. But if you'll notice up here in the icon, it's a little bit softer. Okay, I'm going to get right about here. Click my mouse. Do not let go of your mouse. Remember, we're dealing with exposure. As long as we have the mouse held down, it's not going to go more than 20%. Okay, so let's give this a try. And I'm just kind of going around these areas. I can take my time as long as I know the area I'm going into, because of the simple fact that it won't do more than 20%. I do like the ability to do that. Some tools don't. They're aggressive. This one is not. And also, it is only working in the shadows area. It's not in highlights. Yeah, I think I pretty much got that. I think I'll go over here too. So I let go of the mouse. I'm going to get right about here, and I think I'll just lighten up this area just a little bit. Now, again, the good news is, if I go too far into the really highlight areas, it's not really going to impact it. Let's go ahead and get under here. He's got some really big bags under those eyes, doesn't he? Okay. I think we're going to stop right there before we do too much damage. All right, if you want to see what you did, come over here and turn off Dodge and Burn. So you kind of lightened it up a little bit. Let's darken up some of these areas up here. So we're going to switch tools into our Burn tool. Again, I need a bigger brush, and I want an exposure that's only about 15. Okay, 15 on the Burn tool for the highlights. I do want to do the highlights, and that's this area up here. Bigger brush, that's the right bracket key. Shift left bracket key to soften the edge just a little bit. Okay. And again, the beauty of this is it's only going to work in those areas. And 15% allows me to control. kind of hard to see until you do the before and the after. It's a very, very subtle thing that you want here. You don't want it really intense, or that's really not going to help you. Let's see what happens when we turn this on and off now. I've kind of equalized what I see. Now let me show you one more trick. Let's say that you like what you did, but it's just a little bit more than what you wanted to do. Well, don't forget the layer that you're working in has an opacity. If I lower the opacity by actually clicking on the word opacity and dragging to the left, it will slowly go transparent and incorporate the original image. And if I want to do that, I can bring some of it back in. I like being able to do that. Now, most tools that are non-destructive and work with things like adjustment layers, well, it's a given. You can do that. But with a tool like this that is destructive, it's a good idea to make a copy, work off the copy, maybe put them back together again if you are absolutely certain that you love what you did and there is no change that you would make. Again, if this is going to be a print, don't forget to do a couple of test prints before you lock yourself in. Well, there you go. Dodging and burning an image.